So you beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to focus on the worst changes we have ever seen in the Call of Duty franchise when it comes to the multiplayer aspect of the game. These are 6 different things. We're going to start from number 6 and work our way to number 1, which is just the worst of the worst change in Call of Duty history. But I want you guys to get involved with this in the comment section to let me know what is your list of 6 things that you believe or what order you have them in. Now, if you do take any value from this video or you enjoy it at all, please don't forget to drop a like. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing with the notification bell clicked so you get my videos as soon as they are published. So we're going to start with number 6, and number 6 is going to be specialists. Now, there's a reason why it's so far down the list. One, I believe it divided opinion when it initially came, and it was just a massive change to Call of Duty and quite a shock to the system to many people. I believe Black Ops 3 was one of the better Call of Duties of all time, and I think overall it was well received, but a lot of complaints were about the specialist abilities because of people thinking they gave lesser skilled players a chance to get a kill, which it may be true to a degree, but more skilled players could actually utilize those in such a way that you could get some absolutely epic feeds. I don't know if you guys have ever seen when Ruin bounces off the wall and uses his gravity spikes on one of the objectives and takes out all 6 members of the team. Absolutely epic piece of footage, and for that reason I couldn't be too hard on specialists in Black Ops 3. However, as things progressed, they gradually got worse. Now, I do believe that in Infinite Warfare the specialists were quite awesome actually. They allowed you to get some pretty awesome feeds, but some of them did come across as slightly overpowered. And moving forward finally to Black Ops 4 is where I feel like the specialists really tried to push the envelope and ended up failing, simply because Trakky's design decision in that game was to make specialist abilities and specialist weapons both be available at the same time. This created absolute chaos and just made it really frustrating to play Black Ops 4 without getting absolutely annoyed by getting stuck by some shock drone or whatever it was that was going to kill you. And I just don't believe those things belong in Call of Duty. So that's why Specialist is coming in at number 6. Number 5, I'm going to have to say a segue here from Black Ops 3. We are going to talk about the minimap changes that were made in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, I really had this higher up my list previously, but I changed my mind simply because you could kind of nullify this issue by gaining a UAV in that game, and it wasn't something that was too hard to come about, and there were more pressing issues that we will see further on in the list. But the minimap changes, I just felt like they were unnecessary. Yes, they wanted to innovate, but I think it was an innovation too far. It's a staple of Call of Duty. The minimap is for a higher skilled player, I would say. If you can work out what's going on the minimap as well as what's in the game, you are certain to dominate. And I think that's the difference between a decent player, a good player, and a great player on Call of Duty. In number 4, doors. The implementation of doors in Modern Warfare 2019. I don't even know how this made it off the drawing board. It's the most anti-Call of Duty thing I have ever seen. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about tactical gameplays. Call of Duty will never be a tactical shooter. It is an arcade style, fast twitch shooter. That's what makes this game addictive, is chaining kills together in very quick succession. Now, the thing that I didn't like about doors was the fact that they made a racket. Only if you could walk through that door normally, it would still make a crash bang wallop sound. You literally had to peek the door and push it open slowly, which it's not practical when people are trying to flank you and you're getting shot in the back, and you're more than likely going to walk into a room where somebody's waiting for you anyway. They were an alarm mechanism. I tell you what they was like. The doors in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 were like those alarm systems that make that bing bing when you open the door, or when you put a chain on the door and you hear the bang because someone's tried to push the door open. They were there to alert people. And also, doors in Call of Duty had alarm systems on the shops, like you stole something, so people could hear you coming from a mile away. And it was just, in my eyes, so anti-Call of Duty. I know people camp in Call of Duty. I know people have camped in every single Call of Duty. But this game was clearly built to cater for players who had no intention of running around, who had no intention of trying to get better at the game. So coming in at number 3, into boost movements. Boost movements are one of the most divisive topics when it comes to Call of Duty, simply because a lot of you guys believe Call of Duty should just be boots on the ground. Now, initially, that was me. However, Black Ops 3 was a brilliant game, even with its boost movements. I can see why people were put off here, because Advanced Warfare, there was no happy medium. The boost movements were fast and frantic, and for me, I just could not get used to the system. You had to literally have eyes in the back, the top, the side, in your ears. You had to have eyes everywhere, and it was really hard to get the flow of what was going on in front of you because of the frantic movement. It just ruined that game totally. I absolutely hated Advanced Warfare, mainly because of the boost movements. But as we progressed into the next game, which was Black Ops 3, we got a demonstration as to what a slower, more methodical boost movement should look like by excellent builds from Trakky with excellent maps to go with that flow. Now, me personally, my favorite boost movement was actually Infinite Warfare. I felt that game moved much more like a Call of Duty game. It was fast, it was frantic, but more importantly, it was predictable. And I just really loved this game, and I genuinely believed it didn't get the respect it deserved because people were genuinely fed up with boost movements, and that's why it was a wrap before that game came out. Coming into the meat and potatoes of the video, number 2. And this was nearly number 1 for me, but then I remembered the number 1 spot had to go to this other thing. So, number 2 as the worst change in Call of Duty history to the game that we know and love has to be the change of dead silence, which was also done in Modern Warfare 2019. Dead silence has been a staple perk ever since I can remember in multiplayer. It gives people who like to flank an opportunity to do it in a more ninja assassin type of way, instead of people being alerted from a mile away and just ruining your idea of getting behind in the spawn and just doing what you can to pick people off in such a ninja style. One game that I really loved doing this was, I believe, was it Cypher? The specialist in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, just having Ninja Run or Dead Silence, whatever it is in that game, and flanking up on people and just using my blades to absolutely shear people into pieces. It was absolutely addictive doing that in that particular game. But in Modern Warfare, they chose to make this a field upgrade, and it really had an adverse effect on your gameplay, especially if you was a rusher. It had an adverse effect on everybody because time dictated when you could rush around and not be detected. Otherwise, you was gonna sound like a T-Rex running around the map, and it was just a case for someone to sit in a corner, wait for you to come past, boom boom with a 725. Bye-bye, respawn, start again. And that segues on to our number 1 spot. And this has to go to that one thing only, which I would consider the worst change in Call of Duty's history. The worst change of all time. And that has to go to hardcore, heavy, skill-based matchmaking. You knew I was going to say it, didn't you? You knew I was going to say it. Skill-based matchmaking, as many of you will say, may have always been in Call of Duty. I believe it has always been in Call of Duty, but for some reason, we haven't had the same experience with skill-based matchmaking for, I'd say, half of the Call of Duties that we've played. Games like Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, they had skill-based matchmaking, but it was a skill-based matchmaking that I believe the entire or majority, I will say, of the community would have preferred to have kept and still long for to this day. As Black Ops 2 came in, so did the hardcore skill-based matchmaking. Now, I'm not quite sure with Black Ops 2 whether it was the implementation of the ranked playlist or whether they toned down the skill-based matchmaking, but the game that really started to make it very clear that skill-based matchmaking was here and it was here to stay was Advanced Warfare. That was another reason why I just hated that game. Modern Warfare 2019 is another game that has had skill-based matchmaking turned up to the hilt. No wonder it goes down as one of my worst Call of Duties of all times with all the other implementations. It's taking up most of this list, isn't it? It's felt in the latest Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Everyone's singing off the same hymn sheet. Black Ops Cold War's skill-based matchmaking is too strong, and I believe most of us don't really care that it's in the game. We just don't want it so strong. Do I want to stomp on people that have never played Call of Duty before every single game? No, it's boring. That's like, you know, playing basketball with someone that doesn't have hands. It's just not fair, is it? Come on. I'd much rather come up against the majority of the player base, which is the average, and have those Russian roulette type games where it's luck of the draw. I may come up against someone that's better than me. I may come up with somebody that's the same skill as me. I may come up against someone who is utter, you know, those type of players. I've had games in Black Ops 1, the original Black Ops, where I have gone 35-0 in team deathmatch. Insane, one-of-a-kind gameplay that has happened probably twice in the whole time I've played in the game, but skill-based matchmaking was definitely detuned in that game. So that's where I think the worst changes of Call of Duty history have been placed. Guys, you let me know down in the comment section, what would your 1 to 6 look like? Would it look like mine? Is there anything that I haven't mentioned that you believe was implemented in Call of Duty that you would put in this list above everything else that I've mentioned? Guys, the remaining buttons you could hit, but I like and subscribe button. I hope they took your fancy, and as always guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.